last time I sat up here before you all, I laid out the two most popular and opposing solutions to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I'm going to tell you today why the two-state solution is the best plan to solve this divisive issue, and why it is important that Israel remains a Jewish state.
Is you pushing the side? It's the side button.
Oh, it's the side?
I like to push it around.
There we go.
Okay, I'm sorry. Every ethnic group in the world has a land that remains special to them as their birthplace or national origin. For the Jewish people, Israel is our homeland and is the anchor of our cultural identity. Every Jew alive is connected to Israel, even in our DNA. In a study done by the Journal of Nature Communications, they found that as much as 55% of the genome for Jews with European ancestry can be directly traced back to the lands of Israel and Palestine. This proves that every Jew can trace their origin back thousands of years to the land of Israel. For many centuries, Jews were exiled from their homeland. When the Roman Empire conquered Jerusalem, they feared an uprising and expelled the Jewish people from the lands that they conquered. From then on, Jews became a diasporic group, mostly migrating to Eastern Europe and the areas around the Mediterranean. In the years after, Jews yearned for their return to Israel. It shows in our songs and our writings where Jews would write down their longing for their ancestral home. Next year in Jerusalem, it became a mantra that Jews would exclaim before every important holiday. If every ethnic group in the world has a right to the land that cradled them, then the same should be true for the Jewish people. The establishment of Israel as a Jewish state in 1948 represented a return to normality and comfort for Jews after 2,000 years of statelessness, wandering, and persecution. That is why a Jewish state is important. Unfortunately, the establishment of this Jewish state has led to a crisis. The main reason that there is conflict between Israel and the Palestinians is that both groups hold claims to the land, to the region of Palestine. In the past, both groups have been extremely uncooperative in mending relations and to solve this land battle once and for all. To finally achieve peace in the region, something must be done. I am here to argue today that the two-state solution is the most complete plan to solve this issue. A two-state solution is a plan for two separate countries in Palestine, one for Israelis and one for Palestinians. A Haaretz poll from this year found that 1/3 of Israeli Jews support a two-state solution, and with American Jews, this is even higher at 61%. Israeli government and Jewish leaders had once been avid supporters of this two-state solution, but recently, tensions have been rising between the groups, and it seems like support for a two-state solution is dwindling. This needs to change. Two states for two groups is the only way to end the conflict and save countless lives. In order for this to happen, we must go back to the pre-1967 borders. Before 1967, Israel looked like this. As you can see, the yellow is what the state of Israel was set up as. Then, in 1967, Israel was savagely attacked by Egypt, Jordan, and Syria in what is now called the Six-Day War. In the aftermath of the war, Israel grew to look like this. I don't need to say who won. Israel ended up giving the Sinai Peninsula, this right here, back to Egypt in a peace treaty, but Gaza, here in the south, and the West Bank, in the east over here, remain a part of Israel today, with limited self-government by the Palestinian Authority there. For this two-state system to work, Gaza and the West Bank must be given back fully to the Palestinian people, and Israel must give up its occupation of them. Right now, there are no Israelis who live in the Gaza Strip, but the West Bank is a whole other issue. Israel is slowly pushing settlements into the West Bank. According to Sama Habib, an author for the Journal of International Affairs, Israel had confirmed the 153 new housing constructions in several settlements in the West Bank. Today, 500,000 Israeli Jews live in over 100 illegal communities that were built in the West Bank, even as the Israeli government promised to push for Palestinian autonomy. The only way to ease Palestinian anger and allow them to set up their own state is for Israel to withdraw completely from the West Bank like they did in Gaza. Only then will the door be open for them to establish their own peace and negotiations with Palestine for their own nation. Still, some people believe that Israel should just absorb Gaza and the West Bank into Greater Israel and give full citizenship to the Arabs who live there. This idea might sound great, but in reality it can never work. After so many years of conflicts, Israelis and Palestinians have become parallel to oil and water. They will never be able to fully mix, and to do so would just create a bigger mess. The hatred and fear is too strong and ingrained in both societies after decades of conflict. Giving Israeli citizenship to the Palestinians would also go against the core of what Israel is, a Jewish state. According to the demographic statistics of the CIA World Factbook and the Israel Central Bureau of Statistics, there are almost 6 million Palestinians who live in Gaza and the West Bank today. By incorporating them into Israel, it would change the demographics so harshly that within a single generation, Israel, which as you can see here is 81% Jewish majority, would cease to be a Jewish majority within one generation. Israel was founded on the basis of Jews returning to their homeland in a state made for them after thousands of years of persecution. The function of Israel is not to be a democracy for all. Its purpose is to stand alone as the heart of Jewish life, its blood pumping to give vitality and purpose to Jews everywhere. The two-state solution is the only way to ensure peace with the two groups, while also allowing Israel to remain distinct as a Jewish state. Thank you.